Oh, wasn't there supposed to be some sort of intro screen to this? Oh, I guess not. What? Not even a little intro thingy. Oh, okay. I guess not. So, this is not a full live stream. I apologize to everybody who would think that it is a full live stream. Unfortunately, it's just a test live stream that's going to last exactly 30 minutes. Sad. But that's okay. I'm going to do a full live stream later on so you guys can tune in for that. So yeah, I just watched How to Train Your Dragon 3. I forget who I get it from, but I thank them for that. That was awesome. That was great to see. Interesting movie. Interesting movie. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. It concludes a lot. You know, it brings a lot of things to conclusions, but at the same time, there's a lot of questions brought forth as well. Like, one of the things that I always wonder when it comes to How to Train Your Dragon, you know, in this movie, not like all other movies, but like, what happens to the enemies in the movie? You know, the guy falls, right? Like, we know that he falls, but that's it. And all the evil dragons, right? The weird... Oh, shit. Shush. Sorry. Spoilers. Okay? Spoilers. My bad. I should have mentioned that there would be spoilers. Okay, so, evil dragons. The villain. His whole army, by the way. Like, I don't get that. If you guys haven't seen the movie, have you guys seen the movie? Everyone seen the movie here so far? Okay, good. Yeah, so the whole army and the villain just disappear. And that's it. There's no explanation as to what happens to him or anything. It's just that's the end of that guy. He fell and that's it. I don't know. That part bugs me a little bit, but yeah, I mean, apart from that, we're good. It was alright. I had a few questions, though, because I actually had to go back and look at the movie a second time, because the first time I couldn't understand it. I went back and checked the second time, and from what appears, right, the Light Fury guides Toothless into the hidden dragon world, right? The hole of doom in the middle of the ocean. So that was it. So she knew about this hole. She knew before they actually got there, like where it was and all that. And although there's like this amazing effects, just, you know, like cool, like really cool effects, that scene in general kind of got me scratching my head the whole time. And it's not it's not that Toothless is learning a new ability or whatever. Like that part I could understand. I was cool with that. It's like, well, it's really awesome that Toothless is like picked up on this cool new thing that he can do where he can turn his skin transparent. Yeah, she was hard to get. But they dive down. So there's like this hurricane looking thing that they go into, and then after the hurricane thing where he learns the ability to turn his skin transparent for X amount of time, then they go down. Aurora Borealis is down there, and you look up at the sky and it's the night sky, which is weird because they just popped out of the eye of the storm and it was daylight, and then they go down and the clouds are all gone, so the storm is now gone, and all of a sudden it's nighttime and they're somewhere near the North Pole or South Pole, I forget which one it is. And I'm like, wait a minute. What just happened here? What am I looking at? Yikes. That scene just bugs me, dude. Like, I really, like, I can't wrap my mind around it. I couldn't. It's so hard for me to just, like, figure out what I was seeing. By the way, this scene, the lighting for this scene is really crazy. Like, just ridiculously crazy. Like, if I wanted to do what I'm doing right now, which I am doing, obviously, there'd be a lot of transparencies, but there'll also be just this weird place where the light's coming from. Lucky for me, though, unlike these guys with the CGI, there's more light sources in this scene than you can actually see on the dragons. Like, the only light source you can see on the dragons are the light source, coming from below. But in actuality, all these lights, the blues, the purples, everything from around the characters can be used on the characters too. Which is what I'm going to do to make this work, because this light sourcing is crazy. Like, whoa. Ugh. Anyway, back to what I was saying. So if you haven't seen it, yeah, I'm sorry, I don't mean to spoil it for you. I'd say still watch it, because it helps you, like, conclude all 3 of the movies. Well, all 2 of the movies before that one. So yeah, definitely check it out. It's awesome. But yeah, so they come down, and the storm, the hurricane that they conveniently had so that Toothless can glide and learn how to fly into his fire. That storm is gone, and now they're, like, flying over calm waters into the ocean, where the secret lair is, we call it that. So, in all honesty, there's so much convenience there. I guess too much convenience for me, that they completely changed the entire weather pattern just for that, like, to get that scene across. I was like, whoa, wait a minute. Do you at least have him, like, fly away from the area where there's a storm, and then go to another area where the thing is? Like, I feel like they tried that. I honestly feel like someone was like, yeah, you know what? That scene is a little too long. We don't want to see the dragons fly away. So what we're going to do is we're going to have this ginormous hurricane-looking thing right next to where the dragon lair is. And when they dive down through the clouds, there's not going to be any more clouds. It's going to be starry night, clear night, no storm, and a hole in the ocean. And then they can just go in there. I don't know why that happened. It's just weird. Now, I'm not using any names in this thing because I honestly don't want to spoil it too much for anybody who actually really wants to sit down and actually watch this movie. Don't want to do that. My intention is not to spoil it. More or less to just give my opinion on what I watched. Graphics overall, freaking awesome. Loved it. The graphics in the movies, I think all 3 movies really had good graphics, but this last one was, like, the best of all 3. Just great stuff. I can't complain about that. But let's see what other stuff that I can talk about in this movie that maybe wasn't so positive. Yeah, here we go. So, what was her position in the movie? I brought this up to a buddy of mine after I finished watching it, and I just couldn't quite figure it out. So she comes back, brings Night Fury over to the dragon lair, and of course Toothless becomes the king of all dragons in that area, just like by default. There was no alpha before he arrived, which makes absolutely no sense, because in order to have the dragons form the way they were forming, there had to have been an alpha to begin with. They weren't just sitting around waiting for Toothless to walk through the door and, oh wait, now we have an alpha, yeah, makes sense. So my guess is someone stepped aside and they didn't show any of that, so that's just a hole in the story that will never get filled. Oh well. So, yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So on that note, what was her position then? Was she the queen of the underground? And if that is the case, um, did she tell all her loyal dragons to just leave her alone for a little bit so she can go out and get captured? And darn, how did they allow her to get captured in the first place if she was the queen? That makes no sense. So, I don't know. She had some high position because there was other light furies down there, and for some reason, she has power over all of them too. So I don't know. Makes no sense. And then to that point, also, what makes her so special versus the other dragons? I don't understand that either. Because there's other light furies down there. So I guess Toothless likes that one more. Or better question is, why then did she not find another light fury? Because there was clearly a male light fury and a female light fury for the two light furies that were in there, that were like in the shop. So I'm trying to figure out, was she not interested in light furies at all, and she was looking for a night fury? I don't know. It's a weird question. It's kind of odd. Weird storyline. Anybody have any like ideas on that? I'm gonna guess no. I always ask. Ooh, I need a in their mouth view. Let's see if I can get one of those going. Give me 10 seconds. Let's see what we have. Ooh, look at that. That's some nice smooth dragon details. Oh, I'm gonna open that with soy. Yeah, this is gonna take forever to color, but I will color it. So in some of these scenes, it seems like they really actually did try and get like extra light sources from other places. Like they weren't 100% dependent on the colors coming from down below, because that hard light source that is coming from, I would say in this position somewhere around here, that light source is like, that's like not even a part of the lower section here. I really wish I was able to do like textures and stuff like this. I'm sure if I have sat down and took all the time on earth, I probably can like get really close to it. Yeah, not that good. Not that good. Oh boy, hold on a second. Hello? Oh no, my credit card account. I'm just kidding. My gosh. Teach me to answer the damn phone. Alright, let's see. So what other things can I talk about in that very, very short time that I have? My goodness, time flies when you actually need it. When you don't need it, I got plenty of that. I had a whole weekend fly by without even trying. And yes, guys, my weekend is on weekdays. I thank my job for that. Alright, let's go back to her. I need more on her, and then we'll just kind of like daisy between the two of these characters. Let's see if I can get a good... I know I had one like good shot of in her mouth. I don't know where her tongue is like... Oh, here we are. Open with sigh, yeah! There it is. It's a different like scene altogether, but I need it. I need it for like the sparkle patterns, because there's actual patterns in the sparkles, not just a bunch of sparkles. It's interesting how they did that. guess I can go with the same red. I mean, there's a lot of other stuff in there's a lot of other stuff in the movie that just bugged the lights out of me. Like, couldn't even understand it. But it's not like I'm complaining, because the movie is pretty good. And I understand why they did a lot of stuff. I mean, they didn't want to overly complicate it, seeing as the audience of the movie is a specific group of people that want to understand things, so they made it understandable. But in reality, some of the stuff would not work the way it worked. Simple. I think one of the scenes that is like the epitome of my whole like feeling towards this movie, when it comes to the stuff that doesn't quite add up, is the scene where the two dragons are captured. And by the way, like I said before, spoilers. If you didn't know, they're spoilers. Okay, so when the villain, who I don't know his name, finally captures both both dragons, and he's flying off with the dragons, Hiccup and his crew are now like kind of like stuck. They're like stuck with this like a choice. Like they have to figure out how they're going to be able to capture the dragon. Because by the way, when they capture both dragons, somehow the villain gets Toothless. Well, actually, not somehow. I don't want to really mention it because it's spoilers. Oh, fine, whatever. Spoilers. The villain gets Toothless to command all the dragons to follow him to the ships, and so they steal all the dragons and Toothless and Light Fury. They pretty much get everything. So so they get everything, get everyone, of course. Sorry, it's kind of hard to explain stuff and draw at the same time. It's really difficult for me. But I want to because I don't have time. Ugh. So he captures the dragons, he takes them off, and Hiccup and his crew are like, darn, all our dragons are gone. How are we going to get them back? We don't have dragons. We're really dependent on dragons at this point, so we have to, team up, come up with creative ideas on the fly, and we're going to go after them and get our dragons back somehow. That was overall conversation. So they somehow figure out in that time, before the two dragons that were just captured and all their dragons, which by the way are flying, they somehow figure out a way to construct wingsuits, strap them on, and then fly down. By the way, they know how to fly these wingsuits already, like dynamically and precisely. Fly down to the ships before the dragons reach the ships and battle the enemy and this crew. Yeah. That is a great example of the type of stuff that we were entertained with during that movie. Good example. There's no way on Earth that they were able to even construct one of the wingsuits that they had in that time, yet alone make them fly, and then yet alone have the skills to fly them in an instant precisely to where the ships are, enough so that Hiccup can actually tackle the villain with his just freshly constructed wingsuit. Oh my god. Hey, how's it going, bud? I must apologize for all the spoilers that I'm pitching right now. Don't mean to do that. I know a lot of people are probably interested in seeing the movie still. And I would say, please, please, go out. Watch the movie. Enjoy it. Just be mindful that you're gonna catch a few annoying things here along the way. Just to let you know. I don't think I've ever drawn... This is probably the first time I've ever done characters with lighting that comes from below their bodies. That is something I've never done before. It means that light is going to hit from down here, but not from above as much. I mean, in my case, I don't care because I'm going to cheat, and I'm actually going to make it such that the light from below, like here, like this section right here shouldn't even be this low. This should be like really bright already. Like this should just be like on fire lit. And the reason why is just because the light is coming from below, so all the objects below the face is going to be lit, and then all the objects above is going to kind of be like the shadowy areas. And that is one really hard drawing to do, but that's not the reason why I say this is going to be harder than most of the stuff that I've done. It's because this character has transparent transparent layers. And from what I've looked at in the movie, they didn't really mess around with the transparent layers too much. Transparent stuff. But they did in other scenes. Like this scene that I'm referencing almost all the colors from, they didn't even try to even remotely show any of the light pass through. Like here, look, there's no light pass through. That wing looks as solid as can be. But in the other scenes, you can see that the light passes through the wing, and you can actually see where the wing structure is, which would make a lot more sense with a light source, like the sun coming from this stone. It makes no sense. But whatever, I don't care that they didn't do that. Like this thing right here, you should definitely be able to see through that. Yeah, they didn't bother, but it's fine. I don't blame them. This movie has so much stuff going on in it that it makes sense that they would leave some things out like that. I just probably never got around to it. But I'm one to talk. I'm nowhere near on the level of the people who designed this movie, so yeah, I should keep my big mouth shut and just focus on all the problems that the movie had in my eye. You should have a few. That wingsuit thing was one of the biggest ones, though, I gotta say. It's like, whoa. You know what would have been funny? If they wrote the script in such a way... Oh, I did? I probably did. Wait, did I? Let me see that. Oh, I'm glad you guys found the live stream though. That's good. But yeah, that's absolutely the wrong link. I know exactly what I did, and I'm dumb. You're right. Thanks for telling me though. That's really nice of you, bud. You're a cool guy. I'll fix it right now. Even though it's got like no time left on the clock, I'll do it. You're looking at that like, what is that? What off the top of my head? Let me see. It's 17. I can't do a stream for anything less than I can't do a stream for anything less than like what is it? Than the 30 minutes, so I can't refresh that. But it's okay, this is a test stream, so I don't even really want a big audience or a reasonable audience at that. Let's just leave it alone. We messed up. I messed up, not we. We didn't do anything. I did it. This is all me. It's all me, alright? My fault. Alright, but if you guys are interested in what scene this is going to be in relation to, this is going to be the scene right here where Toothless and his Light Fury is down in the magical dragon hole and they're like demonstrating their dragon abilities. Let's call it that. For all to see. So one of the reasons why I was hesitant to actually color this one, you know, before any of the other stuff that I've been coloring for recent days, is not because of Kickstarter, okay? So don't think that I'm going to bring up Kickstarter right now. That's because I actually haven't watched the movie, so I didn't know what scene would be the best. And since the background makes up for like all 100% of what the colors of the characters will look like, it was very important to, like, these guys really 100%. It's not 100, it's like 60%. But anyway, even though they did try, it doesn't really appear that they used all the colors in this background in the characters. Like, for real, that big glowing rock is like the only thing illuminating the characters, and all this wonderful background color is not being used. I believe in, let's see, it might have been the second movie. They used the lights around them a little better in that movie than this one did. But again, I'm not as good as the artist behind this movie. Not even close, alright? Not remotely close. I wish I was. So I can't have a mouth on me, alright? I can't do it. I'm not permitted to have a mouth. Alright, so take that mouth right off and leave it alone. But I can talk about the plot or story in general, because something fishy was about. There's something fishy about that movie when it comes to the way it was written. I know it was understood as written to be conclusive, but at the same time, I just don't understand a few things. So, if there was Light Furies before, like, this is where the dragons came from. This is the place of all dragons ever. That must mean that there had to have been some Night Furies down there once before they were all eliminated. Like, before they were all taken out, there had to have been some Night Furies down there, and they got eradicated by that one villain who was the main villain in this movie. Alright? That makes sense. I understand that. But then, why on Earth, or on whatever planet that movie's based at, was there no Night Fury and Light Fury mixed breeds before the movie? If you know what I mean? It makes no sense. Like, when they went down there and there was all sorts of dragons, there was only Light Furies. Well, the two Light Furies that we saw, I think there might have been a third Light Fury too. When they were doing that little dive scene, there was like a third one. But there was no Night Fury like mixes, so there was no like Light Furies with like dark spots and, well, black spots all over it or whatever. And that was a question in my head, because I was like, wait a minute. So if Night Furies existed before, then that would mean that there had to have been Night Fury mix somewhere in there before the ones that Night Fury and Light Fury makes later on. That pairing had to have occurred sometime before. It didn't just all of a sudden occur. Like, oh, now Light Furies are attracted to Night Furies. And she was the very first of her kind, and Toothless was the very first of his kind to try it. And that makes no sense. Bugs me out. I'm sorry. I don't mean to give you spoilers, okay? I'm trying to leave as much content as possible out so that you guys can go and enjoy the movie just as I did, and then pick all the flaws out yourself if you like, or not see the flaws and just, watch this video after you watch the movie in that case. But if you don't want to hear any spoilers and you want to see the artwork, please, for the love of goat cheese, mute. Just hit the mute button. It's actually not, I'll be honest with you, it's not spoilers. it's more or less like commentary. I don't know. Yeah, call it that. There was the scene at the end of the movie that bugged the lights out of me too. It was a little more subtly bugging me, but it was still bugging me nonetheless. So, there was a scene at the very end of the movie where let me see, how can I say this that doesn't destroy like everything that let me see. I don't want to put too many spoilers out there, okay? That I don't have to put out there. Let me see. I don't know how I can word that. We could just say Hiccup's children. Yeah. Okay, his kids are on a boat with his wife. That doesn't spoil too much. And they go to see the dragons at the dragon hall. The big hole. And for some mysterious reason, Toothless and Light Fury, which she never got a different name in the movie, by the way. Toothless and Light Fury are like at the entrance of the hole, which made literally no sense to me at all, because Toothless is the king of all the dragons, and Light Fury is at this point the queen of all dragons, which, by the way, is a spoiler of all spoilers. And they're just sitting at the entrance in like the most vulnerable spot with their kids. All three, I think, of the weird half-bred children are like there at the entrance, and I just couldn't understand it. I was like, so all those dragons down there in that hole, which, by the way, it's like a mile deep. Like, you gotta go in a mile, and then you travel inside of there a mile or so before you get to where all the dragons are. So they all just left their king and queen out in a vulnerable state, knowing that the whole plot of the movie was the dragons are not safe outside with humans at this point, and they're hiding away till a time comes where it'll be safe for dragons and humans to actually interact. So that was the whole thing of the movie, right? But yet you have Toothless, the king of all dragons, and you have Light Fury, the queen of all dragons, all out in the open, not guarded or anything, just sitting out there waiting for humans to come along. What is that? Why? Why did they do it? I don't understand. I don't get it. Like, it's convenient. It's convenient that they don't actually have to hop off their boat and somehow figure out a way to glide themselves down there to meet Toothless and all the dragons down there. You know, it's actually kind of convenient for them to do it that way. I can understand the convenience. But, in all honesty, why not just have the dragons come and visit them? They've done it in so many different movies before. It could be in the middle of the night, and the dragons just pop up and like, hey, how you doing? Cool, here's our kids. And that's it. Done. Why have them go all the way out there to meet the dragons outside? It's not like they called them and say, hey, I'm on my way. Come on out of the dragon hole and visit us. Like, meet us outside so we don't get killed by all your dragon buddies on the inside. No, it never happens. So the reason why they were out there was just because the king and the queen of all dragons are literally sitting outside with their kids guarding the dragon hole. Yeah, okay, good. They're protecting the pack. But why are they protecting the pack with their kids? That doesn't make any sense. It's like they're having a day out or something. But I hear your point. So there is a technical reason why. Okay, I'm cool with that. I'll leave that one alone. I'll bury it. I'll bury it under some stones or under the ocean, along with all the dragons that are down there for some reason. Of all places, the dragons hide in water. Anyway, so I mean, I don't know. That bugs me a little bit. But yeah, the half-bred kids bug me a little bit too, because they're first of the kind. But then it doesn't make any sense because they should already exist technically if there was already Night Furies in Light Furies that were already down there. Light Furies didn't just suddenly appear out of nowhere. They didn't have a babysitter out of all the trillions of dragons down there. Not to mention 2 Light Furies. If they couldn't trust any other dragons, they can trust their own kind of dragon. And why wouldn't they trust? He's the alpha. He's he's the king. He can control them. He mind controls them. He can mind control them to take care of his little ones. I guess there's also the argument that maybe every year or so he comes back out and meets them over there, so the dragon was expecting to see him. I don't know, but those kids were like 3 and 4, or they looked like they were about 3 and 4. So with that in mind, if the kids look like they're 3 and 4, that means he didn't take them out every single year. Also, one thing about that scene that bugged me a little bit versus everything else, did he not tell his kids about how nice the dragons were? I mentioned that in my chat as well. It's like, well, the dragons all left on a positive note. They didn't just like destroy everything and leave. The only dragons that were not positive were those acid spitting ones, that acid fire ones that you probably didn't see if you didn't watch the movie. But if you did watch the movie, you know what I'm talking about, the acid spitting ones. So those guys left on that horrible note, but they didn't actually die. They just disappeared. No one died in the movie. I can tell you that right now. DreamWorks made it such that literally there was no death seen in this movie. Unlike the other movie, there was nothing. So characters literally, in my opinion, just disappeared. Like the enemy in this movie disappeared. All of the enemy's army disappeared all of a sudden. It was sudden. The battle's over and the enemy's army just vanished after they got hit a few times. Light Knights. Who came up with that? Anyway. Yeah, but anyway, back to the thing I was saying about. So, apparently, Hiccup never told the children that the dragons were friendly. He never gave like stories about the dragons or anything, because when they got over there, they were extremely afraid, almost as afraid as he was on the first time when he met a dragon in general. Which I can understand that. Like, you can tell somebody a story about something all you want, but when they see one in real life, they'll probably be a little bit scared of it. But at the same time, it seemed like the way they made it seem in that scene was that those kids were never told the dragons were friendly in the first place. And they were just like straight up freaked out up until the point where they were able to touch the nose of the dragon, and that was it. Aww. I didn't get much done today. I feel sad. It's not that I was setting up for this live stream. I was actually combing through the video again because I just couldn't understand it, so I had to rewatch a second time just to kind of like get an idea of what I was seeing and some of the things, I actually did kind of come around to understanding a few things by doing that, which is good. It's always a good idea to do that. As I cut to like judgments. Like before, I was wondering like what was Light Fury's like deal? Did she ever come down there? Did she just find a spot or what? But when I watched it again and I noticed, and I remembered, not noticed, but I actually remembered seeing her pull Night Fury down into the pit where all the dragons were hitting. Hiding, sorry, hitting, what the hell. I was like, oh, okay, so she's been down there before. So that must mean that she has some sort of, like, you know, understanding of what that place was or whatnot. You know what? I understand your point. I'll take your point. In all honesty, I'm just trying to find meaning to what I watched. So, I mean, if that's the case, then that's the case. You know, I don't disagree with you at all. I think that's actually what's going on in that scene. Let's leave it at that. I'm not one to argue. Is that supposed to be the Rock? I think that's supposed to be the Rock. This is all supposed to be the Rock. Like, she's on the Rock. I don't know. I'm confused. Maybe this is all the Rock. And that's supposed to be the background. That's supposed to be something else. I'm not gonna complain. I think that what you think it is, what you think the issues were in that movie and what's going on in that movie, I believe that those are all actual valid points. There's still some stuff that I can't understand, but I'm not gonna press too much because the whole thing of the movie was simple. The dragons were in danger by some guy. They guide him to a safe place to live, and that's it. And it's kind of the quest that they've been seeking for, like, the whole entire movie. Was how can they find a safe place that all dragons can stay in such a way that, you know, humans and dragons can, you know, live apart, whatever. Although I remember the first movie, the quest was to kill all dragons, so that is a different twist. I guess the quest is consistently changing, I want to call it that. I don't think those teeth are right. I don't think there's a lot of things right about this drawing. I'm still just working on it. I'm just beginning, my friends. That's not red enough. And matter of fact, I don't think it should be red. I think it should be another color. You'd have to go like really deep into details in order to get the where you want it to be. I wasn't even talking about art for this whole entire live stream. I apologize for anybody who was actually interested in hearing me talk about how to paint stuff and whatnot. Not one of the things that you will learn from my live streams is that my stuff looks extremely terrible when I first start drawing, When I first start painting stuff, same. It's not gonna look good. And I don't think today's gonna be any exception to that. If I sat here for maybe, I don't know, 4 hours, I probably could have like really, really nice looking head done, finished, complete, like just amazing looking. I notice how I said head and not any other part, because it takes a long time, man. It's like it takes an army. I remember seeing her tongue. Do you remember what it looked like? I think it was like, I don't know. Oh yeah, it was. I saw an image of it just now. I have a long way to go, my friends. This is all rock. I know it's rock because I made it such that it was rock. Excuse me, friends. My alarm is ringing, telling me that I need to get ready to go. Here we go. Shush-a-diddle. I think I got one more of those. One more alarm. Kind of that alarm. The last alarm is like, get off your chair, kind of deal. Get going. I'm like a huge procrastinator, apparently. If I can find something that will distract myself, I will do it. I will distract myself completely. There's not much else I can talk about when it comes to the movie, though. I'm trying to think, like, what other things in that movie bugged the lights out of me? And nothing comes to mind. It was actually very, very pleasant. It was like a pleasant, like, little movie to watch. Ooh, can't save, huh? Okay, hold on a second. I gotta save this before I can continue. Oh, because it was a PNG file. Save as a Photoshop file. Save. I think it can't save the PNG file because it's got layers, but I don't know, I could be wrong. Let's do some more eye stuff. I'm going to add a sparkle in her eye that doesn't exist, but I'm going to do it because I want to see that sparkle in her eye. Oops. Wrong color. There's not a lot of places where that would not work. Like, I've had a few drawings where I tried and failed at drawing a sparkle in the eye. And this is actually one of the very rare few times that that's actually happened. Like, for real. I kid you not. It's probably because we're not near the stage where you can add a sparkle in the eye, but I'm doing it very early on, so I can kind of get an idea of what the hell I'm doing. Stop. Let's look. Okay, I like that. So, the thing about her character is that there's just so much transparency. Like this wing, you'd have light coming through it. And the light that passes through her wing is like purple. And the reason why it's purple is because the light that's supposedly passing through her wing is blue, but at the same time, she's like, well, she's white, but the rock is like that a part of the color. My bad, sorry guys. So I gotta figure out a way to make her wing look like her wing, but at the same time make it look like there's light passing through it, and at the same time make it look like it's the color from the rock that's underneath that. And I'll figure all that out eventually. I don't think I'm gonna do that right now. It's too complicated, my friends. That's supposed to be like, I can try to make it look darker. Like, see that wing passes over top of, where is that wing? Oh, it's gone. That's probably why the creators of this did not decide to do any of that, because it's not easy. It's not an easy task. At least to animate that, I can only imagine could be a pain in the tailbone. Alright. I'm gonna leave it at that. I don't like that little stone. Yeah, no problem, buddy. I'm glad that you enjoy it. I hope to have you in my live streams more often. See you again. Don't forget to like the video before you leave. I want to see that like. Give it a like. Likes are always nice to have. See what we can do with this. And the overhanging eye. Ah. There's a heavy use of black in this. I don't mind it. I just think that purple is more of a usable color, and it's color, and it's not black. Because color, I think color defeats black all the time when it comes to art stuff and doing art and whatever. And this drawing just gets so much purple in it, so there's no point in not using that. Well, this scene has a lot of purple in it, nonetheless. I'll make some corrections later on. This ain't right. Well, I'm not gonna say this is not right. I'm gonna say all parts of this got issues, alright? Every last part of it's like a good deal of issues all over. And in order to fix them, I gotta literally sit down and work it out. I can't just rush through like I'm doing right now. Like I said before in my other live streams, maybe even on YouTube's live streams, I'm not very fast at drawing stuff. And so with that, there's no way I can draw this quickly. If I do, it's gonna look like a bunch of garbo. So just, you know, you don't like garbo, right? Alright, don't expect garbo. I don't like garbo. Alright, so I apologize to all 8 viewers of this live stream. I apologize. I'm gonna say sorry. I am so sorry that I have to leave. Unfortunately, duty calls. That's what they call it nowadays. So, I appreciate you guys tuning in. Not much else I can say there. You have to apologize for the quality of stuff that I've drawn here. Unfortunately, the quality is going to be lacking a little bit, and the reason why quality is going to lack is because is because I rushed through it. I don't like rushing, dude. I don't like rushing. Rushing is not like the cool things. Cool, it's not cool kids material. Don't ever do it, people. Don't ever do it. If you have to take time off to do like good quality stuff, shit, I say do it. Don't let nobody stop you. Don't let the world stop you. Don't be like me, okay? Don't let the world change your goals for that day. Because today, the world has changed my goals. Oh, actually leads to a perfect segue. So, anybody interested in a Kickstarter? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, okay, guys? I know the Kickstarter is a stretch, alright? If you guys are truly not interested in it, it's okay. I don't mind. It's alright. I'm not going to bring it up. Just thought I mentioned that. You know these buckles don't exist in the movie, so I'm going to take them away. But not now. I'm going to leave the buckles in here for now. I don't think there was any buckles in this movie at all when it came to Toothless, outside of the whole the captured scene. So I gotta go back and review. Like, if that scene had him, like, I don't know. I have to look at it. I have to actually look at it, because I think he just took everything off. And by the time they left, he didn't have anything on his face or anything like that, so. Oh, let's look at her face. Oh, sorry, I'm supposed to go. I am supposed to go, people. Art's addictive, okay? I almost can't stop myself, and it's now 6:51. Oh, that's right. But she didn't like humans until she realized that he was trying to save Toothless. Or Toothless saved her, so she saved Toothless? No, not Toothless. Toothless, well, I don't know. That was a lot of stuff that went on in that movie. Why am I even thinking about this still? I gotta rewatch it again. Of course, I like to get all my stuff straight before I actually say stuff. And also for the fact that I really would like to get some of the features that I'm trying to put into this drawing more correct before I do it. And somebody, can you please link my artwork to DreamWorks? I know it's a little weird looking, but just do it for me. I'll be great. I need it. I need them to know. Be like, hey guys, this is a dragon. You know what I'm talking about? Okay. Just do that. Anyway, so. Wait, first time hearing about what? Okay, I can't keep doing this now. I really, literally have to go. I'm sitting here, like, I gotta do it. It's gotta be done. It is my duty. Wait, is it your first time hearing about my Kickstarter? In which case, please, for the love of goat cheese, check out my Kickstarter. Here you go, buddy. All yours. Toss a penny that way. 1 penny. Or not. I just liked it. I liked the Kickstarter right there. Who knows? You might be the one to make this Kickstarter come to life. Which would be freaking awesome. You are the one. You won the cornerstone of the building itself. My people, I cannot stop drawing. What is wrong with my brains? Someone stop me. I need someone to walk over to me and just like knock the pen out of my hand. Just do it. Just do it, please. Alright. I've done it. I've looked at it. I've glossed over it. This is supposed to be her wing area, so I gotta do some weird stuff on that. I'm so sorry, guys, that this is where I'm going to have to end it for today. So supposedly, if you watch the movie, this is the scene where they're like on top of the main crystal in the middle, like of the middle of the whole thing, and they're demonstrating their dragon abilities. Yes, they're using their dragon powers. Okay, that's what it is. My Kickstarter, please. Alright, that's it for today's live stream. I thank everybody for popping in, stopping by, checking it out. It's pretty good. I'm going to talk more about it later. I'm going to watch the movie again, and I'm going to have more information about what I see, what I have seen, more spoilers, and maybe not more spoilers. That depends. But next live stream, we're going to keep working on this one. Let's see how far we can go. It looks like we're getting somewhere.